Hey guys, Dave Doku here, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about Looming Depot episode 38. So let's get started. So this episode starts us off by a looming vehicle outside the atmosphere, and that's the Victory Striker. So it looks like that in this episode, it looks like that two ganglers are attacking, and one of their abilities is to control vehicles. And this will be a big part of today's episode. So it shows that he's trying to attack the patrangers using his vehicles, of his control of vehicles. But Amigo interrupts the fight. He actually freezes one of the ganglers and he proceeds to take one with him. And when the patrangers try to follow him, he actually shatters the gangler that was frozen. So next we actually get to see some new intel about the Victory Striker. So both teams are looking at both screens of some new intel about the Victory Striker, and it looks like that Koguru-san also figured out a way to get this intel. So as well as that, when they get to this kind of quarry place, they actually get to see that the Victory Striker is in the atmosphere already inside of Earth, and you actually get to see that when the Lupin Rangers actually look through a telescope. So upon this, they actually use their battle fighters to try to get near it and fly to it to obtain it. But this ends in not so what they expected. The Victory Striker starts to attack them, which surprises Noel-san, but he sees that one gangler is controlling it, and that was the one that controls the vehicles. I'll get to the reason why he can control it later. So when he transforms, he's actually attacked by Destra, Noel-san. Now, in this fight as well, the Lupin Rangers are having a hard time trying to obtain the Victory Striker. Kairo actually manages to get on top of the Zord and gets inside, but still doesn't get control even if when he was still inside. During the fight against Destra and Noel-san, he's having a really hard time. In the end, he was also beaten by Destra. But when Destra was about to kill him, the patrangers come in for the save and kind of do their finishing move directly in front of his hammer, which beats them and deactivates their transformation. This also leads to a group transformation with the patrangers and Noel-san. So here we can also get to see that Kari looks to one of the screens, and it looks like that there's something in the cargo bay of the Zord that's controlling the Zord. So during the fight with the patrangers versus Destra, this actually leads to a very cool moment in the episode where there's an explosion in the cargo bay, and when it's revealed what's inside of it, the cannon part opens and it's revealed is the Siren Striker. So this is the equivalent to the Victory Striker. So this is really cool. So this is how the monster's also controlling the Victory Striker through the Siren Striker, which is really cool. So how he enters into the battlefield is really cool. So Kairi actually drives it off the Zord's cargo bay and off the Zord and onto the battlefield, and he starts shooting at the gangler, which is so cool. And upon entry, the Lupin Rangers actually get control of the Zord. So during the fight, the patrangers actually beat the gangler, and this also leads to the gangler growing big. So during the fight, Kairi goes in ham with the Siren Striker, using its offense capabilities of its cannons, and even there's also a forklift kind of weapon, and even like the side cannon can also be fired. So this also leads into a new Megazord combination, which is really cool. So the Megazord combination is called Siren Lupin Kaiser, which is cool, but I do prefer the Victory Striker's combination rather than this. But this is still cool. It's shown that the Megazord really overpowers the monster by a big margin, and it even has the ability to shoot out cement from the splash, and this goes to another combo with the magic, using like the ball thing to kind of like a wrecking ball. So the finishing move is really cool. So it's actually kind of like a cannon fire method, which is kind of a very powerful finisher. And after beating him, the other gangler, which was summoned by Gusha, starts attacking the patrangers. This also leads to the Lupin Rangers firing the Siren Striker directly at Noel, and this transforms Lupin X to Super Lupin X, which is so cool. And it even gains a yellow armor, and it gains cannons and kind of handles on its side. But this is really a Miger Battleizer form for this season, because I do prefer Orion Star from the last season, because it was kind of like a whole suit rather than like a chest piece, which is similar to Mighty Morphin, but I really don't like this kind of Battleizer kind of form. So it's shown that Noel-san has the ability to shoot those cannons on its shoulders, which he can actually use the shoulder pads or like the handles on his side to fire them, which is really cool. And this actually does a number on the monster. So the finishing move is really cool. So if you're not even paying attention to the scenery changes to this kind of desolate Stonehenge kind of city. And like when it fires, a bunch of missiles go straight for the monster and destroy him, which is really cool. So the end of the episode shows the Lupin Rangers having the Victory Striker, and Koguru-san actually lets them keep the Victory Striker, which is really cool. And Noelson is shown that he has the siren tracker and is going to keep it. And I show the gratitude for saving him. He actually gives the patranger a bunch of macrons from a store called Juror, which is really cool. So I think that ends the episode there. So thank you guys for watching.